Hey students, I understand that you are embarking on some research projects soon, and I think it's amazing that many of you are able to read and write in another language quite fluently. This opens the gate to a whole wide variety of sources, including primary sources where you can get really rich information. So, you being the translator and the researcher, as you're going to write your essay or complete your documentary in English, you actually get to take some of this rich knowledge from the culture that you can read and write in and transmit it in a way that's possibly more authentic than if you were reading it already through translation. There are some rules you need to follow, and in this presentation, I will walk you through them. Okay, so as I mentioned, your multilingualism is an asset. It opens doors to sources that you might not be able to access without reading them in their original language because the translator is filtering what they've learned through their own lens. So imagine that I'm creating an iMovie documentary and I've got this research question. So, to what extent did French colonialism impact the beauty standards in Vietnam? I've broken it down into a bunch of sub questions that I'm going to follow. Well, I can use in the search engine, I can use my language if I can speak Vietnamese, and I can find sources from Vietnamese speakers, Vietnamese writers. I can also search this in English, and I would recommend doing a balance of both. The same goes in your poetic research projects in English. You may want to research the poetic form Look Bat or some classical Chinese poetry in your own language and get some richer sources. So here is what needs to be done. And I'll share the link along with this to something more comprehensive, but I understand that you're going to be using Noodle tools to create your bibliography. And one of the beauties about that is it will just build in the fields for you. The only thing is that you need to do the translation in an authentic way. So in MLA style, an entry in your works cited list that has been translated by you, the translator, will follow mostly the same format. The difference is going to be in the title. So you're going to enter the author's last name and first name. Of course, if it's in a language like Korean or Japanese or Chinese that uses different characters, you're going to have to transliterate those into characters that fit for English. For the names, and then you're going to write the title in the original language. You can keep that in the original characters too if it's a language with a different alphabet or character system. But in these square brackets, you include the translated title, and then you've got the publication information, the year. Like I said, Noodle Tools will do this, but it will ask for the translated title. So this does require that you are fluent in the language. If you're using Google Translate, I do not recommend that you go for sources in a foreign language because, as we know, especially the multilinguals among us, you can put something in Google Translate and it doesn't come out quite right. The nuances aren't there. It will translate word for word because it's a computer. Humans and language, it doesn't work like that. We don't follow the same constructions. It's the beauty and the complexity of it. So the translated title needs to make sense in English. And if you're at a level that you can do that, this opens a big gateway of potential for your research. It can be kind of fun to explore research in another language as well. Of course, your product is going to be turned into English. So I took the sources that I just kept links of and I put them into a Noodle Tools Works Cited page. And you'll see that it has done all of that formatting work for me. And in this one, I relied on a student to help me with the Vietnamese translation because I am not fluent enough in this language. But I've got, you see the original title there, and Noodle Tools did ask me, it had a field for this translated title, and you can see it's put it in the square brackets for me. And that's how a translated source will come out looking in a works cited page. All right, happy researching.